They say being good is a virtue. I laugh. Being good today is a sentence of mediocrity, a call to servitude disguised as sanctity. They didn't teach you to be strong, they taught you to be nice. Not to say no, but to smile while they crush you. Modern morality, the legacy of the cross and the flock, created the good as a lamb and forgot that the world is ruled by wolves. So listen carefully. Being good without being dangerous is an invitation to be used. True goodness is not meek. It is a sheathed sword. You want to be loved, understood, respected, but you were never trained to inspire fear. Not the fear of violence, but the fear of being underestimated. Every relationship is a battlefield of forces. Friends, partners, parents and children, all of them negotiate power, even in silence. And if you enter any relationship unarmed, you will be molded by the other's will. Don't come to me with, "But I'm such a nice guy." Nice guy is modern code for the functional weak. The weak who smile as the world chews them up. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let's keep going. They say being good is a virtue. I laugh. And it's not a gentle laugh, it's a laugh that bleeds. Being good in this world of domesticated wolves and lambs armed with hashtags has become an act of symbolic suicide. Disarmed kindness is praise offering. Assigned ticket reading, do with me what you will. They did not teach you to be strong. They taught you to be pleasant, domesticated, predictable. To smile while you swallow frogs, to keep silent while your soul screams. So heed this. Kindness without the shadow of strength is not virtue. It is moralized weakness of the soul. It is the art of dying slowly in hopes of a reward that never comes. True kindness is a choice, not a reflex. It is a controlled blade, not an unconditional embrace. You want to be loved, understood, respected. But you were never taught to instill fear. Not fear of violence, but fear of disrespect. Every human relationship, again, every, is a silent contest for territory, for symbolic space, for emotional control. Couples, colleagues, even families. Everyone lives under an invisible contract, where the one who yields the least wins the most. And if you enter any relationship unarmed, without boundaries, without presence, you will be shaped by the other's will like soft clay. But I'm a sweetheart, you say. Sweetheart is the modern name for the functional weak, those who smile when ignored, who serve when discarded, who cry out for recognition and receive crumbs in return. If that is virtue, then servitude has become ethics. We live in the age of the cult of image, and I don't mean just aesthetic vanity, but the symbolic prostitution of the soul. You wear a personality as if choosing today's filter. You calculate smiles, choose words that offend no one, mold your posture to the environment. You are more mirror than being, and yet you wonder why no one respects you. Because the world senses when someone begs for approval. Authenticity that cannot impose itself is ignored. Truth without presence is inaudible. When you enter a room, you must be noticed before you are understood. Because, as Machiavelli already saw before anyone else, the masses see but few comprehend, and those who see judge. If you want to be taken seriously, first assume your form as a god claims his altar, with weight, with shadow, with silence. And speaking of silence, listen well. Whoever does not know how to say no with firmness will be condemned to say yes with resentment. Your boundaries are not just emotional borders, they are declarations of sovereignty. Every time you accept what hurts you, every time you stay silent in the face of injustice, you teach the world how to treat you. But I didn't want to be rude, you say. Rude? No, coward. The absence of boundaries is the root of all resentment disguised as kindness. And the worst, you're not just a victim of this, you're an accomplice. Every invaded space was a door you left ajar. Every abuse was a sign you tolerated. If you do not enforce your territory, it will be taken. And then, when you cry out for respect, they will look at you as a doormat who learned how to cry. But not every battle is fought with swords. Sometimes the most powerful gesture is to vanish. Yes, disappear. Not as flight, but as attack. Absence can be a blow without a hand, a denial fiercer than any argument. The world is full of people who talk too much, explain too much, beg too much. Those with presence know when to disappear at the exact moment. It is the mystery that fuels respect. When you leave a place with surgical coldness, you fill it with your absence, and there, Every one of your silences shouts, "You will not have me again." Some need words. The powerful do not. They withdraw and leave the other with the void of their own insignificance. Now listen carefully. Kindness, when tamed, is a divine weapon, but when uncontrolled, it is a leash. My mistake is not in being good. The mistake is in being predictable. Kindness that never wounds is not virtue, it is weakness. The mature man does not need to abandon empathy, he simply administers it. He masters it. He decides when to offer it. Because true kindness does not seek approval or gratitude, it comes from above like lightning that illuminates and burns. To be respected is not to forego tenderness, it is to choose the right moment to show it. The hand that caresses must be the same that can punish. Only then will your presence be complete, and those around you will not know whether to pray for your light or tremble before your darkness. Some flee from their own shadow, believing that hiding their dark side is a sign of evolution. Foolishness. The complete being is the one who knows every corner of himself, including the abysses. Empathy that has never known hatred, compassion that has never crossed paths with anger, is fragile, artificial, disposable. I tell you, you must tame the wolf, not kill it. For it is that wolf that will keep your dignity standing when the world tries to drag it to the ground. The fool suppresses his aggressiveness and calls it morality. The wise man trains it, shapes it, transforms it into a shield and a spear. True kindness is that which carries a hidden sword behind its smile, and it all begins here. When you decide to stop asking permission to exist, most shrink, apologize, mold themselves to fit into others' pockets. But no one who lives, waiting to be accepted, builds respect. The mind must be reprogrammed as a battlefield, self-mastery, clarity, command. Whoever waits for approval will always be a servant. The world listens more to those who speak with certainty, even when they are wrong, than to those who hesitate with reason. Want respect? Then stop over-explaining. Stop negotiating your presence. Act as if you are unquestionable until the world believes it. Observe the weak. They speak too much. They justify every step, every gesture, every absence, as if their mere existence were an offense to be apologized for. But the truth is brutal. The more you explain yourself, the more you renounce your power. The language of the dominator is clear, direct, without detours. A firm no, unadorned, is worth more than 1,000 trembling arguments. Words, when misused, become ropes, and many hang themselves with them in the attempt to please. I tell you, every time you over-justify, you shrink yourself before the other, and he who shrinks will be treated as small. Modern empathy has become a cloak of fragility, when it should be your armor. Feeling for others is not bowing to them. It is reading, diagnosing, predicting. Real empathy is a radar, not a shield. You are not here to absorb everything like an emotional sponge. You are here to turn your sensitivity into strategy. Uncontrolled sentimentality is the golden prison of the fragile. And those who live in it, though they smile, rot inside. Emotional intelligence. That liberates is that which allows you to act with compassion, but without being its hostage. For even mercy must have limits, or it becomes an accomplice in your downfall. To be good and to be dangerous, that is the combination that confounds the cowards. They were taught that goodness equals submission, that the good must smile while being crushed. Poor fools. True goodness, the kind that imposes itself, comes with the glint of the sheathed sword. It is not the goodness of the lamb, it is that of the lion who chooses not to devour. The truly good man does not need to threaten. His presence is enough. He is calm because he knows chaos, gentle because he can be cruel. And this duality is what separates the virtuous from the weak. If you still believe that just being good is enough to earn respect, then I'm sorry. You have understood nothing about power. You were trained to please, to be accepted, to not disturb. From childhood you were taught to say yes, to lower your gaze, to smile even when you didn't want to. But let me tell you something. That education prepared you to be a servant, not a sovereign. Maturity begins the moment you decide to reprogram your mind for respect. That means stopping asking permission to exist. It means ceasing to mold yourself to others' expectations. The world does not respect the nice guy. It respects one who, even being fair, imposes presence. And if you do not impose, you will be imposed upon. Choose which side of the verb you want to live on. We live in the era of endless justifications. Everyone wants to explain their feelings, their decisions, their existence. But the more you explain yourself, the more you weaken yourself. What Machiavelli understood, and few today dare admit, is that power need not apologize. A direct no, strategic silence, a steady gaze speak louder than 1,000 fragile justifications. When you try to convince others of your goodness, you have already assumed an inferior position. The strong act, the weak justify, and thus without noticing, many deliver their authority on the altar of others' approval, believing they are being ethical. They are not. They are being devoured. The word is your sword, and many use it as a broken shield. It is not about speaking more, but speaking better. A statement made with clarity and intent carries more weight than a flood of good arguments. He who masters language masters the narrative. He who masters the narrative shapes the world around him. Learn this. Your presence must speak before your mouth does. Tone, pause, restrained gesture, all communicate. And when you learn to fall silent at the right moment, to speak only what is necessary, and to let your silence embarrass, then you will begin to be seen as someone to be respected or feared. Empathy, of course, but use it as a radar, not as a shield. If your sensitivity makes you absorb everything without filter, then you are a sponge, not a warrior. Emotional intelligence is not being moved by everything. It is knowing what deserves your energy and what must be ignored. You are not weak for feeling, but you are weak if you let feeling paralyze you. Emotional command comes from a heart that observes before reacting, that calculates before embracing. Strategic empathy is what separates the wise from the manipulated. When you turn your sensitivity into a tool, not a prison, then you are finally free. You own your energy, and no one can disturb you without your consent. The greatest trap of modernity is the glorification of the nice guy, the one who never raises his voice, who smiles even when crushed, who tolerates everything to be accepted. But let me tell you, this is the most disposable type of human. Kindness, when not accompanied by danger, becomes irrelevant. Do you want to be good? Then be good, but be dangerous too. Let your gentleness come with a silent warning. I can be light, but I can also be the storm. A gentle man who commands respect is one who has already danced with his demons and still chose peace. The rest is performance. It is moral slavery disguised as virtue. If you've made it this far, you may feel discomfort. You may be rethinking your concessions, your apologies, your attempts to be accepted in a world that does not respect you. Good. The pain of lucidity is the beginning of power. Now, if you prefer to continue living as a docile soul, waiting to be loved for your harmless goodness, this channel is not for you. But if something inside you has awakened, if a spark has ignited and you are willing to be good with sharpened claws, then subscribe now. Like this video, not out of obligation, but as an act of affirmation. You no longer need to ask permission to be respected. You just need to remember who you are and act like it. Perhaps now you understand the world is not ruled by the purest, but by the most prepared. And there is no greater preparation than that which unites consciousness and instinct, light and shadow, firmness and compassion. He who lives only in sweetness without mastery of his fury is a lamb awaiting the knife. But he who knows his own chaos, who knows when to be silent and when to explode, that one is not domesticated. That one is sovereign. True evolution is not in denying strength, but in refining it, making it a choice, directing it. It is this kind of man and woman who shapes destiny and imposes respect, even in silence. Times have changed, but human nature remains savage. He who does not know how to protect his peace will be dragged by others' demands. He who does not set boundaries will be shaped by foreign hands. And he who does not withdraw when necessary, without guilt, without explanation, will become an emotional treadmill for others' dramas. It's time to kill the good boy, the good girl who smiles while bleeding. It's time to take responsibility for your own dignity. Respect begins when you decide never again to put yourself in a place where you must beg for it. And if you've Come this far, there may still be something in you that refuses to be ruled, that bristles at this culture of obedience disguised as empathy, that distrusts the servile morality they taught you as virtue. Well then, listen. The world owes you no understanding, no applause, and it will not reward you for being a nice guy, but you owe yourself the construction of an indestructible self. And that only arises when you decide to be dangerous, not in the sense of harming, but in the sense of no longer being able to be harmed, when your peace becomes a fortress, your language a sword, and your presence imposes silence. That is power. Like this video if you're also tired of being a collared wolf. Subscribe if there's still a spark of spiritual rebellion in you, and share with those who need to wake up, not to become cruel but to cease being fragile. Machiavelli smiles from beyond, and I, Nietzsche, merely watch, not with disdain, but with expectation. Because if even 1 in 1,000 understands that being good and being strong are not opposites but allies, then this world still has a chance to create beings worthy of the freedom they pretend to desire. Act, be silent, withdraw, but never bow.